So, Fnaf, huh? Five Nights at Freddy's is a series I have a complicated relationship with. Like pretty much everyone, I first got into the series with Markiplier's videos, following along with all the lore and theories and stuff.
Boom! Axe to the neck! Boom! Axe to the jugular!
And then I fell off of it around the time Sister Location came out. I never actually played any of the games for more than like 5 minutes. I'd play like the first 2 nights and then I'd just quit. It was only recently when I bought Help Wanted 2 on a whim that I decided to go back and play all of them. Back when Security Breach first came out, I had nothing that could actually run the game, and everyone was talking about how horrible it was, so I just ended up skipping it. But at the tail end of last year, I saw it was on sale, and I decided, I may as well try it. So I bought it, installed all 90 gigabytes, and then played it for the first time. This game was a very strange experience. I really have no idea if I liked it or hated it, and its flaws are super glaring to anyone who tries it. I'm pretty sure if you look up the definition of missed potential in the dictionary, you'd find a picture of Freddy Fazbear's big dumb face. But I couldn't help myself from loving some of the things this game did. Despite it being one of the most confusing games I've ever played in its design decisions, I guess the best way to take on this review is to tackle each aspect of it individually. I'll get the best quality of the game out of the way first. This game looks excellent. Every area is so vibrant and detailed, the characters all look amazing. Mostly. And the Pizzaplex in general is really well thought out in its layout and design. You can absolutely tell this beast of a map was what Steelwool ended up putting most of the development time and costs towards. There is one major problem with this game's visuals though, and it's down to one thing: the atmosphere. I can tell what they were going for here. They wanted to give off a sense of wrongness, going through a place that is normally completely packed with people and noise, but it's eerily quiet and empty at night. But there are just straight up too many lights on, too many sounds on, and too many fucking staff bots. Imagine for a second if FNAF 1 had all the lights turned on, and instead of creepy ambience they had rock music blasting all night. It's not nearly as effective. Now, to be fair, there are some areas in Security Breach that do manage to give off a pretty creepy feeling, but it never manages to reach the level of even the weakest atmosphere of the original games. The best it gets is in those real tense moments, which leads into our next topic. The Five Nights at Freddy's series was known for its simple, arcade-style gameplay. Rather than the sense of linear progression you'd get in most horror games, you deal with the same mechanics but increasing in difficulty and danger as the nights progress. Of course, that's not something you can really do with the type of game this is. Instead, it's more of an exploration-focused stealth game. It's unfortunately a fairly generic setup for a horror game, but being generic doesn't automatically mean bad. The exploration is cool enough, a little confusing maybe, but I never really felt frustrated about finding where to go. The map is dog shit though, genuinely what the fuck am I looking at? The minigames and puzzles exist to add a bit of variety to the gameplay, and some stuff like the Phaser Blast and the Pizza Robot are actually pretty fun. But Mazer Size is potentially the worst section ever put into a video game. The stealth is where I think this gameplay works best though. A lot of people learn pretty fast that you can outrun most of the robots pretty easily and to not even worry about sneaking. I am not most people. Even on replays, I'm still too scared to rush headfirst into danger, on account of being a loser baby wimp. It's far from a scary game, but those tense moments of hiding in a basket or stroller, hearing nothing but Gregory's panicked breathing and the loud stomps of the robots passing by, it really did get me a bit. I think this game does manage to succeed in the area that the other games were always best at, which is sound design, with again, the exception of the I found myself using the cameras way more often than your average player would. A mechanic that most found completely useless became a vital tool for my survival as I constantly checked to see when it was safe to come out. Still pretty poorly implemented in general, but hey, it's the thought that counts. When the cameras were first introduced, it made me think they were going to go into some classic Fnaf style sit and survive gameplay with how they describe it, but no, you just walk out the other side. They did try to do something like that in a later section, but it falls completely flat just because of how basic and uninteresting it is. The DJ Music Man section I actually really loved, and this isn't a unique opinion to have. It's easily one of the best parts in the whole game. The final boss fight though is legitimately one of the worst things I've ever experienced in a video game. I genuinely couldn't do how horrible it is justice in this video. I recommend this video by Stop Drop that explains exactly how awful it is. Very good video. I was lucky enough to find out earlier in the game that Chica's voice box messes up Roxy's senses, but that only kind of fixed one of the fight's many issues. Overall, the gameplay is serviceable enough. It's definitely something I enjoyed at times, but it's far from something I can say was actually good. There's potential, but a lot of things need ironing out. But what's even messier than the gameplay is the... The story is the worst part of the entire game, bro, like no contest. The characters have no motivations, things just happen and plot threads just appear with no setup and don't get elaborated on.
Freddy, if I leave now, nothing will change, will it? There will be more disappearances.
Yes, I am afraid that is correct.
Anything you can get from this game comes from the books that released after the game and don't even make any sense anyway. The entire story reeks of a hasty rewrite, especially considering how many differences there are between trailers and the final game.
Gregory, your friends are worried about you. They're here with me.
When I first found you, you were nothing. You were small, pathetic.
To my face, I can give you the sense of rhythm. Oh yeah.
They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you. We have to get you out by morning.
You will do as I say. You will bring me what I want.
I can give you the sense of rhythm. Awake, baby.
The main villain literally just does nothing in the entire game for some reason. Like, she's all over the marketing and the teasers, and they talk about her like she's some huge, big, important character, but then she shows up like twice, and then in some of the non-canon endings. But you don't need me to tell you that Vanny was missed potential. I'm pretty sure literally everyone knows that. Then there's easily the most controversial aspect of the entire story, the return of William Afton. Something hated so incredibly much that they immediately retconned it in the DLC. Now, I don't think this game ruined the lore like many people say. Even if it did end up being Afton, I could just accept that it's his corpse reanimated and not actually him. The original series stories ended, and this is just something new. I won't touch on Glitch Trap because cool design aside, I do not like Glitch Trap.
What are you?
I'm a hidden file. Or am I?
Alright, here's where it gets controversial. I think Security Breach was better than Ruin.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, buddy.
Atmospherically, it's scarier, but not by that much. The entity is cool, but rarely ever actually scary, and it's hard to find the Matrix techno world scary in general, even with some cool use of sound design. The plot, it's definitely a lot better, no denying that, but it's very hard to judge a story that's entirely set up for the next game. I like Cassie, though her voice is kind of ear-grating sometimes, and I like the part where you have to shut down Roxy. It kind of ruins the moment when she comes back 5 minutes later, but at least they had some sort of emotional weight. Now here's the bad part, the gameplay. The entire thing boils down to repeating the same 3 puzzles over and over while under absolutely no threat. The entity cannot kill you, only call animatronics to your location, and all you have to do to avoid it is take off the mask. Every encounter with animatronics, aside from that, is incredibly scripted, mostly due to the removal of the one thing that made Security Breach good, the stealth. Removing hiding spots and stealth mechanics was the strangest decision ever. It turns the game from an actual game to a linear set of jump scares with some extremely shitty and forgettable puzzles. The only good gameplay in the entire DLC was the mini Music Man section. Now, in all fairness, this was a completely free DLC, which was incredibly cool of Steel Wool to do, but I really hope future games don't take from how this game is set up and instead go for something that improves upon what Security Breach did. The next game is going to be VR, so who knows how it's going to play, but Steel Wool is great at VR games generally, so I have some hope. While I was writing the script, the trailer for Secret of the Mimic dropped, and it kind of looks like it's going to be more of the same that they did with Ruin, which is pretty disappointing, but maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe they'll do something cool with it. I don't know. Security Breach is one of those games where you can tell exactly how everything went wrong. Overambition, low budget, and lack of communication and desperation to please fans all led to this game's downfall. And while I think there's plenty to enjoy here, it's undeniable that this game is a mess, and I really hope Steel Wool hasn't learned the wrong lessons from its failure, because this series really does mean something to me, and I want to see it thrive and innovate on itself in ways that lead to something special. The kind of thing that made me enjoy the games in the first place. Also, maybe make functional games, that could probably help.